Welcome to the Overheard and Banff podcast. We still have intro music playing. My name's Dan. I'm Dan Rudel. We're recording live here in Banff, as we do always. With me, my co-host, Maddie Rage.
We got Maddie Rage. What's good?
What's up? Very special guest today. We got a trio from the Bad Altitude Improv Club. We're going to do a little intro here. Timothy Eckmeyer. He's about all things theater and improv. He heads the Bad Altitude Improv team in Banff. He's the original creator of the Overheard and Banff sketch comedy show. Timothy's also been involved in theater, film, and improv in the Bow Valley for the past decade.
Let's go.
Next up, you can catch Tim on October 8th at their next improv show. They're doing one during Pride Week. So make sure you go out and get your tickets. We've been linking it this week. So go check out our social media. You can find all those links there. Lucas Matthews. After not being involved in improv or plays since university, Lucas was delighted to discover a gang of theatrically inclined folks in Banff. So unsurprisingly, he's been involved with the Banff Bad Altitude Improv since. Gang, yeah, you guys are a gang.
Gang,
So cool.
a gang.
I think it's cool. Yeah.
That'll be the next improv meeting.
Yeah, there you go.
Gangs of Banff.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Oh, that's
I'm
down.
So yeah, Luke has been with the improv team since its inception. So we'll touch on that in a little bit. And finally, we have Larissa Schumacher. Welcome.
Thank you.
Performing on stage, amazing friends and constant laughter. Who could say no to that is part of Larissa's little bio. Been part of the Bad Altitude Improv group for a little over a year. So kind of a new member. But it says you've loved every moment of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Would that be
Yeah.
accurate?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Best
Right.
decision I ever made.
Sweet. So how's your week been, guys? What's been going on? What have you guys been up to?
Trying to enjoy the last of the sunshine, to be honest.
How sick is it out there today?
No, it's like we had a little patio drink just before we came here, and it's like just perfect weather, right?
was
It's
cut
so
short.
lovely. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank
Yeah,
you for
sorry to cut you short, guys.
Yeah.
My bad.
Tim, you messaged me. You're like, oh yeah, we're over at the canoe. And I'm like, yo, that must be so sweet on that patio right now.
Happy hour in the sun, can't go wrong.
No doubt.
Right on. So thanks for
Yeah.
cutting that short. We appreciate it. Matt, what have you been up to this week?
Nothing, man. Just chilling. A lot of the homies were all at Lost Land, so I just kind of hung out and did nothing, I guess. I don't know what I did this week. Did a little DJ pop up on Sunday night.
Nice.
Yeah. Other than that, chilled out, bro. How was your week?
Pretty sick. Well, we went to the comedy show last night. That was pretty dope.
That was tight. That was
The
good.
Commonwealth comedy show at Mel's was dope. It was a really good turnout. Got to hang out with the boys. Had tons of laughs, which we expect to
The-
have
the
more
girls
of
were there
today,
too,
so
though.
pressure's on.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
true.
Thank you.
Be funny. Be more funny.
The bar is set really high. No, it was a great time. They showed us a super good time over at Mel's.
No doubt.
Was golfing today. Played some super slow golf.
Oh,
The
you got
pace
stuck
was
behind
horrendously slow.
some beginners, did you?
Oh, whatever. Like, it's kind of part of the game when you're playing at the Banff Springs and it's so beautiful, is what it is. But we're here now. At least I got 6 holes in, so
No doubt.
better some practice than none. Let's move on to these guys and what we're here to do today. We thought we'd start. Tim had a great idea to start with a little improv exercise, we'll say.
Oh no.
How would you describe this exercise? What are we doing here?
So this is something that we do typically with our team, and it's just something that we'll do as an exercise to warm the brain up, which actually kind of helps because I'm not really used to this medium.
Okay, cool.
My brain is like shut down mode. So, so what we'll do is we'll play a little game. It's called Three Things, and I might prompt somebody from the team and just say, okay, what are three things that you, and then we list them off. So we'll play it how we normally do, I
Sure.
think. Okay,
Sounds
so
good.
Let's do it.
hey, Lucas.
Hey, what?
What are three things you don't want to find in the palm of your hand?
Ooh, an exploding teacup,
One,
an endangered species,
two,
and any of that liquid that drips out of garbage bins.
three. These
These
are
are
three
three
things.
Nice.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, what?
Tell me three things that you love about this kind of weather in September.
I like when the trees are all changing color and it gets really pretty.
One.
I like enjoying those last rays of sunshine on the patio with a drink.
Two.
And I like kind of getting excited for winter, to be honest, and the whole change of season and something new.
Three.
These are three things.
Nice.
Hey, Dan,
Hey.
what are three things you might find on Banff Ave at 2 a.m.?
Three things you might find on Banff
Uh-huh.
Ave. Well, the first thing would be a large group of people partying.
Yeah,
One.
Maybe a pile of throw up in the corner somewhere.
Two.
Three,
God.
two.
Probably some McDonald's garbage somewhere strewn about with some food.
Nice.
Nice.
Three.
These are three things.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, what?
What are three things that you don't want to find on the bottom of your shoe?
I don't want to find a used, dilapidated contraception device.
One.
Well said.
I don't want to find dog excrement.
Two.
And I don't want to find anything valuable that I have lost because it was stuck to the bottom of my shoe.
Three.
These are three things.
Nice.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
What are three things that you don't want to find in the trunk of your car?
Oh God, I'd say a dead body for sure.
One.
A whole jug of paint just leaking everywhere because we saw that
Two.
the other day.
Two.
And 12 kilos of an undescribed white powder.
Three.
Three.
These
What could
are
that
three
be?
things.
We're actually going to touch a little bit about that substance later on one of our posts.
Oh God.
A little foreshadowing. Anyways, I thought so. This game, Tim told me about this little warm up exercise, and it got me thinking about this other podcast that I saw. And one of the questions they were asking their guests was if you could have 5 liquids dispensed from your fingers, okay? Any liquid in the world, which 5 would it be?
Gas.
So that's one.
Yeah, definitely.
So Tim, we'll start with you. You got gas, one. Next.
Oh, am I going?
Yeah,
through?
yeah.
Okay.
You gotta pick
gas,
all
5.
Don't steal mine.
All right.
Now he's on the spot.
I would say, what other liquids do I want? Well, a little bit of booze.
Okay.
Let's rephrase that. How about wine as well?
So
Yes,
wine
yes,
is one. Yeah.
What else would I want for liquids? I'm thinking maybe some cleaning products.
Okay.
Hmm.
For cleaning up the mess of the booze. Yeah.
This is a lot of liquid.
Right?
I think other liquids, cheese.
Liquid cheese.
cheese.
Nice.
Nacho cheese? That's that like queso on
like
tap.
squirty cheese.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
Queso on
cheese.
tap.
And then probably the fourth, I'm gonna think about this after and be like, man, I'm thinking the fifth. Safe water.
Okay. Water.
There you go.
Yep.
Nice.
Larry, 5.
Yeah, water was my. I'm gonna have to
Of
repeat,
course.
but
They're
like
gonna overlap.
Yeah.
There's gotta
I'm a
be some
practical
overlap.
person. Water, coffee.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let's go like a lovely Pinot Gris from New
Nice.
Zealand. You know, I'd throw in the wine one there too. See, gas makes sense because it's so expensive, but I feel like it would take forever to fill up your car with one finger. So I'm gonna like scrap that one. I don't know. Let's go like liquid gold. We can make some money out of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can make jewelry like on command. Just
make money, you know.
Okay, sick.
That's what I was
Um,
using gas for.
Yeah, fair. I mean, just
Same thing.
Same.
But then your days
Goals,
would
gas.
be filled
Same thing,
like
but
filling
different.
people's cars. You know, like I
Yeah,
feel like
like
that would
nah,
be.
that just or like the pressure coming out of your finger to fill up a car. Like,
Well,
nah.
and then like you'd always have your buddies be like, "Oh man, I'm short this week. Can I just borrow like $20 worth of gas off your finger?" And you're like, "No, dude."
I would just hook it up like an IV drip while I'm sleeping.
Fair.
Just, like,
Okay.
pump that
Got
out.
like buckets under the bed.
There you
Okay,
go.
water, wine, coffee, liquid
more.
gold, and I don't know, what like a Powerade or something. When you're
Okay,
hiking,
like a
you just
sports drink.
yeah, you're on a hike, you just have a little
There you go.
suck on your
Nice.
finger. That's so random, but you know what I mean.
Lucas.
So drinkable water.
'Kay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because so drinkable water, Gatorade, or something
Sports
of that,
drink.
something that variety. Also, oh shoot, I had one of these. I mean, probably some sort of decent beer, just for
'Kay.
a nice one that'd be sort of a good year round. Miso soup.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice for winter times, especially
sure.
if you're out.
Actually has some food and nutrition in
Miso
there.
soup.
Miso
8
soup,
months of
just-
winter. Great call. Great
ski,
call.
really good when ski touring, or just like out snowshoeing or something.
Not tomato and basil.
Miso's got that nice sort of blend of like heat plus sort of like flavor, umami, and a bit of salt.
Okay.
It's good.
No,
And then,
no judging here, Jake.
No judgment. No.
and then number 5, whipping cream just for variety.
Nice.
Cute.
Just to spice it up.
Matt, you're 5. What do you got?
Let's see here. I'd say beer, ranch, sriracha,
Oh, he's gone the
water, and Japanese whiskey.
Okay, wow.
Oh,
very,
whiskey.
very
Oh.
condiment
I feel like
heavy
you
on
had time
Matt.
to think about that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I kind of Googled one. I'm not gonna lie. My final one is
Not gonna lie, I didn't really think about it.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
I-
was kind of spaced out there for a minute. I was just watching the cat smack the shit out of the carpet over here, and yeah, my bad.
I told Matt when we got here, I'm like, I'm gonna be asking this, so think about it.
Mm.
My 5, I
didn't.
got water, coffee.
Mhm.
I need creamer for my coffee, of course.
Mm.
And then I think gasoline for the car just because it's practical. And then I Googled the most expensive liquid in the world, and it
Yeah.
happens to be scorpion venom.
Oh,
So
damn.
that would be my 5th. So instead of having to sit there pumping gas all day, I would just do a little scorpion venom at a time and just be balling.
Is there like a decent market for that though?
I was gonna say, out of
know.
curiosity, what are you
Are
gonna
you
do?
selling that, Bab? Like,
Anti venom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sell it on
Yep.
the anti-venom market.
You're writing, guys. Do you want some scorpion venom? Like,
Yeah, I didn't really think about it. I just Googled it.
Hey
It
man,
seemed
the
smart.
scorpion venom it just fell off the back of a truck.
So yeah, I guess that would be. Yeah,
Nice.
I just thought it'd be funny,
Nice.
Anyway,
Just random scorpion venom.
more about you guys. Where are we all from originally?
I'm from Kitchener, Ontario,
Kitch-
and then Toronto. But Banff for the past 12 years or so.
Nice. I'm originally New Zealand, Hamilton. Shout out anyone who knows where that is. And I've been here like a couple of years now.
Couple of years, nice.
I also grew up in Kitchener, though Tim and I actually didn't meet until we were here in Banff, amusingly enough. Even though we've got like some friends in common and so on. And this January makes 10 years in Banff. Or 10 years living in Banff.
I have to say it though, just randomly, the friends in common is my sister-in-law.
Yes.
Randomly, which
Wild.
we didn't realize until my brother came to visit.
You want to hear? So Braden, who's also part of the group.
Yeah.
So I was shooting the shit with him once. Like he was working at Brew Pub at the time, and I'm like, "Where are you from?" And he's like, "Oh, small little town, like Ontario. You wouldn't know." And I'm like, "Shoot." And he's like, "Blenheim." I'm like, "Oh no, shit. My sister-in-law's from Blenheim." He's like, "Who's your sister-in-law?" And I told him, and he's like, "You're shitting me." He's like, "I played on her hockey team for like 14 years." Man. I
What?
was like, "No way!" Oh, it was hilarious.
It's
Yeah.
such a small world.
Yeah.
eh?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's how I know Brandon.
It's crazy how
Yeah.
it works. You bump into people in Banff, eh?
No
Mini
doubt.
Canada.
Yeah.
Why did you all come to Banff? Is there a specific reason you chose Banff in particular, or you just?
Well, I was in university and I was just looking for a summer job.
Mhm.
And so Government of Canada ran this Federal Student Work Experience Program, FSWEP. And so you could apply to that program and then, hey, here's my profile. And then they'd send you sort of emails with like, oh, this matches your sort of list of skills or whatever and interests. Do you want us to refer your name to the hiring organization? And a few different things came up. And then at some point, a job came up working as a campgrounds attendant for Parks Canada at Tunnel Mountain. And
Oh,
it was
sick.
like, cleaning toilets. Ooh, in Banff. Ooh, for that pay rate, sign me up. And so that was summer of 2011. And I was, like wandering around. I'm like, I get paid to be here. This is nuts. And so I just kept doing summers for a bit, and then I stuck around for a winter, and I was like, oh yeah, this is home now.
Sweet.
Right.
I mean, there's worse places to clean toilets, I'm sure.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I've done it. I think we've all been there.
I was a housekeeper when I first moved out here. I
Same.
was meant to be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I
Yeah.
did, and it was like
So kind of scrubbing
shit,
toilets,
but I
yeah.
mean, you're in Banff. Could be worse.
I didn't do it too long. Did I ever tell you the story about my housekeeping days?
No.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Was this young Daniel?
Yeah, the young Daniel.
This
for
was
sure.
young and wild Daniel.
I was meant to be a
Banff.
housekeeper
no.
when I first moved here, at a hotel which will be unnamed. But it was back when cannabis was illegal, and I got caught with a quarter pound of cannabis on my drive out here.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
So yeah, they wanted me to produce a criminal record check
Mm-hmm.
to be a housekeeper because you're in people's rooms and stuff.
Right.
And then I went to the police station, was like, hey, like, can I get a police record check? And they're like, not really, man. Because I was like still
You probably
pending.
don't
Like,
want that.
I ended up getting off and everything was all sweet with that. Nothing ever came of it. But
Casual
yeah,
stockpile.
wild. Yeah, like 5 or 6 days of housekeeping. It was horrendous.
5 or 6 days, love that.
I commend those that do it long term because it is a
Yeah.
very difficult job. So
Yeah.
if you're out there cleaning up after people, especially people that are on holidays, I give
Yeah.
you a tremendous shout out.
People
because
don't give a shit. Dude, you go into some of those hotel rooms and it's like a goddamn bomb went off. You're like, what? The
Oh,
Like, how
Yeah.
did this even happen? How? Like, I went in there once. Every single towel in the whole room was just in a pile in the tub, but just like soaked. Like somebody had like, I don't understand.
you never know people's
I
motivations.
just don't get it.
Yeah.
You know,
And then like even the bath mat too. They just like every single piece of fabric
It
in
was
the
just
room.
drenching,
They just
like
like put it in the tub and just like turned it on or something. Or like we'll just get it wet. We'll wash it for him or whatever. And I was like, I don't know what happened.
needs to
but-
soak, man. Needs to soak.
Oh, it was brutal, dude.
When I was in Cuba, an unnamed friend of mine actually had a good night with another special friend, and he thought, "Oh, this will be a really good idea to
Oh,
have
no.
a cigar." And then so he
Oh.
cut the cigar, but accidentally cut his finger. And
Oh.
bled everywhere. And so the next I came in, there was blood everywhere, all over all the towels and everything. And I was like, "Is he still alive?" I looked over. He's sleeping in bed with like a face mask on. I'm like, okay, nobody's gonna hurt him, and then he's gonna put a face mask on and go to bed, so he's fine. Heard the whole story in the morning, but
Wow.
I couldn't imagine a hotel room that smells worse.
Covered in blood.
Moving on, Larissa. Why did you come to Banff?
I feel like my story is quite similar to a lot of people in Banff. I got the Canadian visa to come over here, working holiday, and I had no intentions, like where to live. I have a friend in Manitoba, so I was like, cool,
Ew.
I'll go. Yeah, I know.
Whoa.
I was like, I'll go on. Shout out to Emma if you're listening. So I was like, cool, I'll go on a little trip. I'll get to her place and then I'll just figure it out. Like I had no real set idea. Came to Banff. I was only supposed to be here for 3 days. That turned into 6 days. I was going to do 3 days here, 3 days like Louise, 3 days Jasper. Made some friends at the hostel and they're like, you don't need 3 days on Lake Louise. Like go do a day trip, but like stay here for 6.
Yeah.
6th day, had a job interview, went and visited my friend for a few weeks and then moved here. And that was like near on 2 years ago. So
Sick.
just fell in love with the mountains. Like Lucas said, you just look around and you're like, yeah, like I could live here. Like
100%.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I think, like, for a mountain town, it does have enough industry to keep us afloat. Like, even though it is expensive, yeah, we do have the kind
Yeah.
of tourism to back it up, which is ideal. I remember back when I first moved to town, businesses would shut down. Like, restaurants would close for a month or two out of the year because it was cheaper for them than keeping the lights on. But now,
Yeah.
vastly different.
Yeah.
Tim, why did you come to Banff? What was it for you?
I had some friends who I used to work with in Kitchener, actually in the hospitality industry. I started pretty young. And it was a chef who had actually worked at Tony Roma's here back in the day. And
Which one? Because we've mentioned a few Tony Roma's chefs. Because I worked
I'm
there.
actually forgetting his name right now. It's slipped my mind. Is that like,
Was
this is
it-
like this is young
Was it
Tim.
Dewey? Was it
This is young
Andrew
Tim.
Searle? Or
No, before them.
before them? Damn.
Yeah, like we're way back.
Okay.
Mold. So I was studying in Toronto. I took theater in Toronto, and then I moved back to Kitchener Waterloo for the summer, and I couldn't find work that I wanted to do. And then, so just in the back of my mind, there was this little seed. Oh, you can go out west. You can go to the mountains. So I had never been on a plane before. I had never seen mountains.
Yeah.
I had never really been traveling by myself, so I just booked it. I booked a hostel for 2 weeks, which is actually the same sun,
Oh, really?
Nice.
in the old building, the brown one over here.
Oh yeah, crazy.
And so I went in. I had 3 jobs in one day. I took them all.
Classic band.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't last very long in the breakfast serving. It's too early in the morning for me. And yeah, I just I fell in love with it that summer. I had such a good time. I went back to school in Toronto, and then during the next summer, I ended up.
Are you
Sorry.
okay with that?
I'm having a hard time with this water here. Sorry, Tim.
I just
Sorry to
opened
interrupt
mine
you.
real easy. Dan's just reefing on it
So
over
the
there.
next summer, I came back, and then I was living in Toronto, and I missed it. And I was like, you know what? The rest of my life can go on hold. I'll find it whenever I want it. And then I ended up moving out here, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but then I found kind of what I really enjoyed here.
Sick.
Right.
I think, yeah, that's a very common thing. You come here for a summer, for a winter. You're like, yeah, maybe this is the life, you know?
Few
Got the
days,
life, bro.
For sure. A few days turned into a few years pretty quick,
Yeah.
you know?
That's what I did. I just rocked out here on a bus.
Yeah, bus travel's wild.
Oh, it was
Back
bad.
when Greyhound was still a thing?
You came
Yeah,
out here
yeah.
on
It took me
Greyhound?
like 3 days.
Oh,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was
Damn.
wild. From Chatham, Ontario
Oh,
to here
wow.
took a very long time on the Greyhound. By the time I got off, I'm like, someone find me goddamn beer and a shower before I go ballistic.
I
on
just got to
Friday.
ask,
Like,
you still have your ears underneath that hat?
no, they're not there.
They are gone. So Banff, obviously, you guys all live in Banff? You guys live in Banff? All
Yeah.
Banffites?
Bam.
Sweet.
Nice.
It's not the easiest place to live and stay long term. Why do you guys do it? What keeps you here?
I'll go first. For me, it's the people. One of the things. So in that little holiday that I had, I came here just after Whistler. And for me, like as soon as I arrived in Banff, there's schools. I was a teacher back home. So I was like, there's schools here. I'm a musician. There's bands here. Like there's just so much going on as far as a community that I didn't see in Whistler. It might be there, but like I hadn't kind of come across that. And so yeah, like I'm part of a couple of bands here. Obviously, I joined the improv group, and so like yeah, there's for such a kind of like small place, and even for such a transient place, there's so much community. And that's
For sure, I think
so nice.
the longer you stay here, the more you find it.
Yeah.
It's hidden, it's there. Especially
I always say to people like there's 2 halves to Banff,
Mhm.
and there's the traveler visa, like here for a ski season, half of Banff, and then there's like actual community of Banff, and you know the long term people. And as soon as you kind of get into that, it's really like homey and really
And
welcoming.
you got immersed pretty quick
Oh yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
And
Yeah.
there's a mesh of that too. There's a lot of people that stay long term because they like that party lifestyle as well,
True.
right?
Well, yeah.
Like that is
Yeah.
a big part of the demographic too.
Yeah.
Lucas, what about yourself?
Well, I came out because when I started as a summer student, then there were a few other folks who then all came out as summer students at the same time from a bunch of different places, and just one of those kind of like we bonded over like, hey, because we're living in Staffacom, we're working out the campgrounds,
Mhm.
and then when there's days off, and then like there was we'd have like campfires, hiking, and so it was just like the community. I love it sounds a little trite, but I love the community, and there's just that sort of ever present sort of so many different things to do, like outdoorsy things to do, and people who are interested in doing things. And so tunnels right there, and it's just really easy to let's go do tunnels.
You can never be bored here.
It's true. If you are, you're doing it wrong. I would,
Yeah.
I would
Oh, yeah.
agree with you there. And Tim, we kind of touched on that a little bit earlier. As you kind of found what you were looking for as far as lifestyle.
Well, I
and-
think you would ask like what made us stay.
Yeah.
Really, for me, I had been here, had a lot of fun with the early years, especially during college. And then when I came back here, I had a couple of years of that again. And then I just kind of felt like, okay, I'm at a turning point in my life. I need to find a community. I need to do things that I have either learned and want to grow in, or I wanted to be able to share things and then feel like I was part of something. So that was actually kind of why I started the theater collective, which then kind of integrated into the Bad Altitude Improv team. I figured, who am I going to make really good friends with? It's the people who are interested in theater, people who are wanting to do the same things as me, and then create kind of a bit of a bond with that. So then I realized once I started all that, okay, here I am. I'm doing what I love to do in a place that I love.
Well, I think that raises a good point about like you kind of created your own atmosphere and your own scene of what you wanted to do in the town of Banff. So I think a lot of people have a hard time finding that here, kind of default to the easiest route, which is, the party lifestyle, going out and all that.
We've all done it.
100%.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like I did
Absolutely.
I did it
right?
when
Sorry,
I first
Mom.
got here for a bit. Like first month or two, I was pretty much on it. But
Oh my god, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Now I just don't.
But again, that's a big part of why we wanted to have you on and specifically talk about this project, is about creating your own community within Banff, because these communities are out there. It's about finding like-minded people to share that experience with. So that was awesome. That's like, what was the inspiration? It was just that to just bring like-minded people together. Were you looking at Banff and being like, hey, there's a need for this, people are interested?
I think there was a definite lack. I was here and I had graduated theater school. Everybody finishes theater school and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be an amazing actor. I'm going to do all these things that I want to do. I'm a superstar. And I basically, I always had the confidence of knowing that I can start things and have fun. And in Toronto, there was a group of friends. We used to meet up. We'd do new play nights, and we'd read plays that we had written, or we would put on puppet shows or whatever it was. And there were a couple shows that came from that then toured around with fringe shows. And so for me, I was kind of, something can come from nothing. And I always found that really interesting, that it's just an idea. You just start it, you have to do it. And then from there will be so many friendships, and just it's actually kind of crazy because Lucas has seen how much has happened because of this. So for me, it was just, I wanted to do something that I had done. I took a leadership program, and then I went to the town of Banff and I just kind of said, do you have a theater program of any sort? And there wasn't one at the time. They did have them in the past, but there wasn't one at the time. And so I started a drop in, and it was on Sundays, and we used to get together. And improv kind of grew naturally out of that. It was a situation where when you cast a show, you've got a certain amount of roles that you can fill. I like to include everybody. I don't really like saying no. One of the best ways to do that is to do improv.
That's smart.
So we had a lot of people that would come out. They come out for a night, and then I don't have a part for them to read. We might as well improvise.
Cool.
And I just found that was the most welcoming way of allowing people to come in, and then also a way that I could be ready for whatever shows up at the door, which has been a lot of great friends.
Awesome.
So is there, like, does everyone within the group, have you guys got specific roles as far as like who takes care of what, or what the topics for the night are going to be, or like is that kind of just a collective thing that you guys can all agree on?
Lucas is our technician.
Tim hates tech.
Oh no!
Anything tech, like I'm
Why are you
looking
laughing
at
at the
this
tech?
setup here, and I'm like, this is anxiety inducing. Like all
It's
these
not that
like,
bad, Tim.
chords and microphones.
It's not
and-
that bad.
Matt's a
Yeah.
wizard, man. I show up, this is already done. It's
Exactly.
great.
Yeah.
It's so sick.
That's Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a producer brain. I don't have so much the technician brain.
Right.
Yeah. So Lucas definitely takes on a lot of our tech and stuff, but still is involved with improvising. Myself personally, I do take the lead with a lot of things because I think just I started it. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
it
You
just
start
kind of
doing
falls.
it.
It falls on me. I tend to have a little bit of a pushy personality
You're
at
so
times.
modest when you're taking responsibility for it. They're like, no, yeah, you did. You
No,
did.
no.
You've also got the formal background.
This
that
is true.
Many of
Yeah.
us don't have. So
The whole
Um,
degree in theatre thing
yeah.
kind of, gives him a bit of an edge.
So like knows kind of more of the way to do things, like the methodology behind putting on shows and that type of stuff, or
I mean, I could say I know that.
yeah.
he does.
some of that, I mean,
But-
a lot of that's been sort of just kind of figured out along the way.
I like to think I'm pretty funny.
Yeah.
I have a really good idea of what's funny. If it makes, you know what it is, I judge, like if I'm making a show, I don't judge, but if I am making a show and creating something, if it makes me laugh, then it must be funny.
I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Like you have to do what you enjoy and what makes you happy, right? Like if you're
Well, yeah.
forcing it or trying to make jokes to appeal to people,
people see right through that anyways. Like
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. You can tell when somebody's into what they're doing, and that goes a long ways as far as like, if we didn't give a shit about this, obviously you'd be like, oh, they don't care, man. Like
you'd be able to tell.
you'd be able to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larch is down here just smacking stuff away. She's having a good time today. She likes the cables. Like,
Yeah, she's been clicking around lately on, but well, hey, whatever. It's kind of fun for her too.
but she likes it, dude. She's right into it. She's like, it's podcast day.
Can I make her assistant techie?
Sure.
Please do. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she'll run cables. She'll chase cables down for you all day. No worries.
So for those that have never been to a Bad Altitude Improv show, run us through what that looks like. How does it usually play out? They look pretty
Tim's
like
looking at me, sure. Okay. So we normally, like, cast-wise, we'll have, I don't know, a dozen of us improvisers. And we'll kind of plan out the show beforehand as far as like what games and stuff we want to do. We don't do any like content planning, like that's up to the audience. So
Oh, okay, cool.
we'll plan what kind of games we want to do and which of us is going to do each one. So there's a little bit of like planning beforehand, and
it has to have some type of structure.
Yeah,
You're not
oh,
just gonna
oh,
go
for
up there
sure.
blind. Yeah.
and like which games like we might have like actually practiced recently, and then obviously you have a dozen of us, like different people play off each other maybe better than other combinations, like
Nice.
just because everyone has their own kind of chemistry and stuff, right?
Or we just think it'd be funny to put those two people
Oh
on
yeah,
stage.
sometimes.
Just make it really awkward. Just make it really awkward on purpose. It's awesome.
Well, it's funny. In preparing this episode, I was one night just doing a little research, writing some questions and that, and I was watching The Office and the improv
Oh yeah.
the episode where he goes in with the gun and he's just like,
Oh yeah.
like, no more guns, Michael, no more
more
guns.
Like, all right, then
I was like, I just picture I would go to improv, just be like,
for no reason.
Yeah.
do
But
you
then-
encounter that? Is that like an issue of like, I don't know, how do you train your mind to be so quick to come up with improv and make it funny? Like that's a very unique skill to have.
So typically the funny isn't actually created by you.
Yeah. I agree.
It's more the situational comedy with improv, where if you're creating a show and you've got these suggestions, then the audience is coming along for the ride. And so as you're trying to make up what you're saying or trying to figure out what you're doing in the little world that you've created, because it could be anything, you really just have to kind of go with the flow. Because if you push it too hard, like if I say, oh, there's a purple spotted camel over there, it might be funny, but does it suit the situation?
It's not believable.
Not necessarily. Like,
Yeah.
does it fit within the world and the realm that you've created? So once you've created it with an audience, they get to come along for that ride. They're thinking about things themselves. They're like, oh, I would do this, or that could be funny.
Nice.
So sometimes you just have to go with natural. And then what's going to happen is you're going to run into an obstacle. Someone is going to suggest something that you clearly don't want to do.
Yeah.
They're going to say something. And the
Yeah.
number one rule of improv, which we haven't said yet, is
Yes, and.
and so you need to actually accept what the person's given you. And so it is funny for the
Yeah.
audience to, if I tell you that we're going to go sell some toilet seat covers.
Absolutely.
Exactly. That's what we're going to do.
Can I
bring my
And
cousin?
So the humor comes from just saying yes to things.
Okay.
And because the suggestions come from the audience too. So we'll go to play a game, right? And we'll ask, so all of the content comes from the audience. So we'll say like, I don't know, what's the last movie you watched or something, anything. It can be absolutely anything.
Favorite cartoon character.
Yeah,
your
relationship
pet's
between
name?
a character, I don't know,
Pet's name.
Yeah.
an occupation, whatever, anything.
It sounds like you're
We-
trying to guess my passcode question.
What's your mother's maiden name?
What
Child
is your
nickname?
social insurance
background.
What was
number?
that? What was that occupation last night? Remember Lars was on stage and the guy's like, "Oh, don't worry about it, buddy. You wouldn't have any idea what she does for a living." And he's like, "Yeah, try me."
It
And
was
then he's
actuary.
actuary, yeah. And he's like, "You mean the person that works at the insurance place that decides how much money this would cost if a natural disaster was a hit?" And he's like, she's like, "Yeah, exactly." He's like, "Yeah, fuck you." It was awesome.
So good.
Like, just nailed it. It was great.
Sorry to cut you off,
No,
Larissa,
go.
but yeah, we were talking about how the content's derived from the audience,
Yeah.
right? And saying yes, that's such a good concept, right? That will continue the scene.
And you may not
constantly.
want to.
How do you deal with that when you really don't want to?
You
Like,
just got to do it.
what
just-
what would be something that you don't want to do per se?
A lot of content that I can't
Yeah.
say on the air.
Yeah, we do
Okay.
have some. We
So
do have some rules,
Do,
but
do people actually like request just like out of
Oh,
control
dildo is like the first thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, every
Yeah.
time?
I'm pretty sure we could say dildo.
Yeah, we can say
Yeah.
dildo.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just
That's the first thing that comes out.
That's fine.
But anywhere from there, yeah, it's really up to whoever's emceeing the show to kind of like pull it
Nice.
together.
Yeah.
Because we'll be getting a lot of suggestions. So we'll get the audience to call out their answers to whatever prompt we've given
Okay.
them. And so then, like, Tim's typically hosting, but whoever might be hosting that game, you're going to choose a suggestion from the audience that also is like,
Yeah. Dude, there's
okay.
something that's doable.
Fair.
Yeah.
is interesting, you know, has room for humor, but is also, you know, appropriate.
And maybe not going to go there.
Yeah.
There's also
Yeah.
some navigating that too. You might have 10 or 15 answers, and it's choosing the one that might influence the show better or wherever you
Yeah.
want to take it.
Yep. Usually I take it off of like, oh, that sounds fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Right on. What a great way to do it.
You guys still get nervous before you go on?
Yep.
Every time?
Well, no. Yes and no. Not as much.
Not
You
as
get used
much.
to it. I'm more nervous being in front of a microphone and a
don't-
camera.
You don't sound very confident when you say no.
Because I'm
yes,
I'm
maybe.
like, do I get nervous? Are you
What do-
nervous right
what do
now?
I
As
do
you
with my
stare into
hands?
the camera.
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, should I sit cross-legged? No, there's definitely a nerve of being in front of an audience. I think it depends. Like anytime it's a new venue or a larger audience than before,
Or if
we
we're
did
trying something a little different.
we did a corporate conference once.
Oh, God.
And we got paid for it, which was great.
Sick.
But we did a corporate conference, and it was a great experience. But it was quite nerve-wracking. The energy of that room walking into it was very difficult to work with.
Just pretty stale in there, was it?
It was
Were they all
big.
wearing suits?
Yeah, it was a corporate.
Was that- oh, like straight up
conference
massive
room.
corporate?
And most of these people did not come to Banff thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna go to a corporate conference and we're gonna watch some improv. Like it was a very random mix of people and suggestions, and then I think we went into politics in one scene and we weren't supposed to. Yeah,
But you pulled it together? How did that show end up?
it went fine.
It went
Sorry, I
fine.
wasn't there.
It
I
was
was away at the
I
time.
blacked it out of my memory. Actually, no,
Which
from what I
means
know,
it went great.
fine.
Yeah.
We had a great time. It was something new, something really exciting to be able to do.
What about you, Lucas? Still get nervous?
Oh yeah, you know, it's always the kind of like, and the same happens if I'm involved in like a scripted. Whoops, sorry, like a scripted play. It's always the kind of like, you know, you just like everything's a little on edge, and then it's you just sort of it starts, you push through it, and then you pick up the energy of the crowd, and then at
Yeah.
that point, then it's like, okay, right, yeah, I remember just how much I love this.
And you're meant to have fun at that point.
Yes.
For sure. I think we can kind of touch on that leaf with you guys too. Like, this is meant to be fun, right? Like, that's kind of what I
Totally.
tell all the guests before they come on is we're here to have a good time. We're not
I
here
find
to
it-
like,
I find it more just like anxiety. It's like anxiety. Like I just want to play. Like even when I DJ or when I play with the band, like whatever. It's like that last like 10 minutes. You're like, let's go,
The waiting.
boys. It's like the wait is worse than like anything that you just like. It's not. I'm not nervous really to get on stage. It's just like you're you're just so anxious and like hyped up. That you're just like
I would agree.
bouncing.
I would agree. I think that like with 1 minute when we're just sitting here looking at the clock, being like, okay, it's
let's
1
go.
minute.
Let's
like-
go. It's the longest minute of your life.
And then I mess up the intro, and then we're good.
Hey man, only once or twice. I'll
Oh,
give you
whatever.
that. You've actually nailed pretty much every one of
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, my
them.
But yeah, I guess the crowd having such a big impact on the show, does it help kind of knowing people in the crowd, especially in a Banff show, right? Like you'll probably have a lot of friends and people out there versus like a corporate gig, bunch of people you don't know.
It's a double-edged
laughter-
sword sometimes. I mean, in the sense that, like, you know, because it's one of the things Tim says is part of the intro is that, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, and nothing that you see tonight, you know, like this is a flash in the pan. It's
Yeah.
a moment of like we're all here, we're sharing this moment, and nothing's going to be, you know, you won't see this show another time. So if there's nobody that you know in the crowd, then it's like, you know, then I won't necessarily see them again. But if
True.
there's friends, then sometimes the next day they're like, and what? And you're like, I don't know.
I didn't. I just said yes.
Yeah.
I said yes, and that's how we ended up overthrowing Stalin.
I do think laughter is contagious, and so it does help to have a friend or two in the audience,
For sure.
or like
Nice.
one of those like planted laughing people that makes everyone else laugh. Those shows definitely go further than the shows where maybe we don't know everyone. Nobody really knows why they're there. It's much more exciting when there are some friends in the audience. I think
For
having
sure.
such a small community in
Okay.
Banff is really beneficial to
Well,
our team.
On that note, you mentioned the corporate event. Any other, like I'd say, more interesting or better for you guys, memorable moments, like as far as crowds go? What's your most memorable crowd moment?
Really, the Pride shows are our biggest
Nice.
exciting
Are they
shows.
wild or what?
That it gets fun.
What
Anything
makes it
goes,
different
it
from a
seems. I don't know. There's just like this like celebratory vibe.
fair? Yeah.
And
Nice.
it's always a packed house. And then it's just like the energy is just
Mhm.
everyone's super just jazzed to be there.
Stoked.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And I think like improv is a little gay. Like there's a lot of play and a lot of fun and a lot of camp, and there's a lot of gender switching and all these different things, and so everything has always kind of been open with
Mhm.
improv. So you
Nice.
kind of have to anything goes. So Pride is just we could theme it, but it's already kind of there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's just like a really good excuse to throw on a fun show.
I think
Lean into that a little more for a Pride show than we
Yeah.
might normally otherwise.
for sure. I think
Sure.
inclusivity seems to be kind of the main focus behind what you guys are doing and just having fun. You
And
guys-
that is really important with our team. Like that is something that by starting this group and then kind of figuring out like who's coming out
Mhm.
as well, I've found that this group has been, I would say, incredibly welcoming to a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different experiences and people. And I think that has always been something that I've really tried to push, is that anybody who walks in the door, I want them to feel like we want them to be there. And anyone who walks in the door can bring a new laughter and a new energy that we don't really have already.
Nice.
So we try to kind of, as much as we can, keep that open.
Nice.
I will say that was one thing. Like when I first heard about the group, the only person I knew in it was Arn, but I had like no qualms showing up to this group, like to a room full of people that I didn't know, because I was like, but they're theater people. Like they're gonna be the nicest, most inclusive people because it's just like who we are, and so it's like it's you don't feel weird or uncomfortable or anything just showing up to a room of strangers because you just know that they're gonna be lovely.
Well, I think it's
and-
like that type of person that wants to open themselves up to that type of situation, right? Like you're going to have that specific type of person,
Yeah.
which is usually welcoming because you're
Yeah.
welcoming of a situation that you don't know. You're willingly going in, putting yourself under the gun, so to speak, into a situation that might not be the most comfortable. So
And wants to find that community that we were talking about before.
Yeah,
100%.
Which
Oh.
happens naturally.
Yeah, that's sick.
So Tim, tell us a little bit more about the Overheard sketch comedy shows that you put on, because that's kind of why we wanted to tie this into this
Oh,
episode
yeah.
as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tell us how that started.
Well, it started with Banff Buy and Sell.
Yes, the
Yeah,
buy and
I
sell
remember
show
that, I
The
remember that.
first.
Facebook marketplace, and then
How many years ago was that? That would have been
I
like,
don't even
Man, I was at the
know.
liquor
That was
store.
like 8-9 years
Yeah,
ago.
I was like working at the
Was
liquor
it
and that was
store
a
back
that
then.
was a great
17?
success, wasn't it?
Because we did 3
Yeah.
before lockdowns, and then we did
Yeah.
the one last year.
Yeah.
So we're at 4 because we're at 4.
So
I
the,
think so.
the Banff Buy and Sell was the original concept, and that was because that was before Overheard and Banff, the Facebook page. It was
Mhm.
before Marketplace was even bigger. You would have like a smaller page on Facebook. So half the branding was like the Facebook logo, which is probably illegal by now.
Yeah, we tried not to do that.
Yeah, and so we ended up putting on a show that essentially made fun of Banff and everything that would pop up on there, like stolen jackets and terrible rent and
So
sleeping in the
sick.
corner. And
We've done a couple since, kind of on that same air, and like used bike seats. One was a used female protecting device for judo or something. There's some
Weird.
wild
There's some
stuff on
wild
there.
used stuff.
so
on
we would take those concepts and then we would make scenes. So sketch comedy is a little different from improv. Improv is obviously improvised on the spot,
Mhm.
and so you're going to take a suggestion and build something out of it.
Yeah.
Sketch comedy, you're going to take an idea, and then what you'll end up doing is kind of like Saturday Night Live. You'll create a concept and some jokes, and you'll play improv within a set idea, and
Like-
then you're gonna be like, "Oh, that was funny. Let's do that again." Or maybe we'll develop that. We'll make that part slow motion. We'll add in a couple of wigs, go from there, and you'll
Nice.
end up with a really funny scene. So sketch, the reason it's called sketch is because it's a rough outline. You can
Mm.
still kind of play within those boundaries and go over, and it allows you to be able to create an idea and then just really play in it.
So the
Nice.
premise is a little bit more scripted, but
Towards
the
it.
content could still be a little bit riffed and
Scripted.
like,
It's a
ish.
sketch,
Yeah.
and you're more than often your partners on stage are going to surprise you.
hey, cool.
Nice.
And then you just have to say yes and go with it.
Are you guys involved? Were you guys involved with the? Well, I guess they haven't done one in a
Yeah,
while.
I'm too new. But...
Didn't have the chance to yet.
Fresh meat, as they say in the kitchen industry. Like, oh, you've only been here a year. Oh, that sucks. Too bad.
I'm like intermediate. I think we were talking about it after improv. I think it was like last week, and there was like lots of like the sort of original older members, and and then there was like a couple like the new ones, and I'm like intermediate at a year because like Bad's transient, right? So we have people coming and going all the time. So I'm not new, but I'm certainly not.
Do you find it hard to keep members with town being so transient? Like, do you have a lot of people coming and going, or have you got a lot? Like, are there some?
We're very mixed.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that have come in. We'll see them once, and then
See 'em once and
they
they're
move
gone.
on, or but we retain people a lot.
Nice.
And yeah, there's I'd say it's a half mix of like new and old. There's definitely people who have stuck around or come back, including myself, and yeah, it's a big mix. I think that's one of the coolest things about it is because when you create a community like that, you're gonna meet all these people in Parks Canada and
Right.
Fairmont, Banff Center, and all these different places that people work that you wouldn't have normally crossed paths with. They
Good
have
point.
different backgrounds, and I find that really cool.
Yeah. Well, it's just like on the podcast. Like we've had
It's been crazy.
like an insanely diverse group of people that have been on the pod. Like, yeah, we've had a couple of the same, trade, but yeah, like it's crazy. We've had Parks Canada on here. We've had like DJs and like wildfire specialists. It's just like insane, man. Like the people that you can meet in this town that you would never ever have an opportunity to meet anywhere else. Like, where are you gonna live back in Ontario where you get all that? You know what I mean? Like,
That's it. I forget who I was talking to. I ran into someone today, and I was kind of like explaining kind of the premise of the show, and it's not so much about what people are doing. It's like everyone has a really cool story of how and why they got here and why they stay here and like what like. So one thing we all have in common is that we love this place, and we all just want to like make our lives fit into this landscape, we'll say, right?
no doubt.
And I super applaud people that go out and make their own community and put on stuff that they're interested
Well, you're
in.
doing it right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's thank you.
Good
I
point, good
appreciate
point.
that. It's kind of part of what we wanted to do as well and highlight these things. So how can people get involved if they want to start doing some improv with you guys? You have spots open. Do you ever fill up? Do you ever turn people away? It doesn't sound like you do.
No.
No.
I mean, I don't think we've ever hit fire codes in any building. So.
That's a lie. We most definitely
Not because of the
with our
cast.
audience.
Well,
Not
yeah,
because of the
like-
cast. We have definitely had too many people in a room, but whatever.
We won't talk about that later.
Because I feel like what the Banff Buy and Sell one was at Bruno's, was it?
No,
Or-
Banff Buy and Sell was at the Lux. All of them been at the Lux for the big shows.
The big shows.
We used to do our improv team used to do Bruno's, and then rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Bruno's.
Bruno's. But yeah, I've seen you guys do shows at Bruno's where people were like standing outside the
Yeah.
windows watching from the outside. It was
we're
awesome.
really famous.
Yeah.
Aw.
Extremely famous, buddy.
No, we do have to sometimes cap our cast size. It's basically mostly based off of attendance and who's around. And I do like giving opportunities to people if they're newer, making sure that they have the opportunity to try to be in front of an audience. I think everybody deserves to try that.
When's the next show? Where can people get tickets?
What day is that?
8th of
October 8th?
October.
October
Yeah.
8th.
October
Tuesday,
8th?
October 8th.
It's at the
During Pride
Mason
Week.
Lodge, which will be I think it's one of the headquarters for Banff Pride this year.
Is it upstairs or downstairs?
Downstairs.
Oh my God, the upstairs is a trip. Have you been in that building?
I have.
Where?
The Masonic Lodge.
No.
Across from the Magpie.
No, I have not.
So they
Mhm.
rent the downstairs.
Yeah,
for,
I want to do a
like-
hardcore
They
show
have the
down
whole
there.
building
I'm
this
just kidding.
year.
Okay, the upstairs is weird. It's almost
yeah?
like a parliamentary, like an altar or something, like a Masonic meeting place of some sort.
That's
There's-
exactly what it is.
Yeah, I was
No,
like,
I-
it's the Masonic Hall, right?
It's
No, I
the
know,
Masonic
but it's like
temple.
just it's got maybe because I was just there at night. I did a wedding, or no, not a wedding. We did the unlimited staff party. I bartended the unlimited
Oh, wow.
staff party in the
Nice.
basement there.
Hmm.
And then whoever was running it was like, "Yo, come check this upstairs." There's like all these old timey pictures. It just had a weird like culty vibe
Kind of
going
like
on.
Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah, like
But dude,
you-
like any church at night is just fucking weird. Like you got, like,
But it's not a
you go
church,
into-
it's
I know,
like-
but like it kind of is,
I don't know.
but it kind of isn't.
It's kind of
Secret society vibe, you know? It's strange. Anyways,
That's how they get you.
check it out or don't if you're easily spooked. Because I was like, what am I like? It just didn't feel like I was meant to be there. It was weird.
No doubt.
No
All right.
presents.
How much were tickets for the show?
I believe it's $10.
Nice. At the
Bucks.
Tickets at the
Pride is
door?
hosting it up, so any of the tickets can be bought through Banff Pride directly on their website.
Cool.
We were actually encouraged to direct people there.
Cool.
It does sell out, so if you're wanting to attend, you probably want to get down there and clickety click.
Jump on it.
Scoop them ticks up. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
hell yeah.
saying? We also shared it on the Facebook page. We shared it on the story as well.
Right.
We'll reshare it when we do all this, releasing the episode stuff. We'll do some pics and go out, get your tickets because it does sell out.
Heck
We'll
yeah.
see these guys do some hilarious improv because this has been a great time.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
You guys get to see the questions?
If you want to have a go, we do rehearsals once a week, 4 till 6 on a Tuesday, at the Banff Kenmore Community Building on Banff Ave.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to come along, have a go. We don't like cap rehearsals.
Cool.
So just jump on in and come say hi and give it a go if you want.
What's like a rehearsal look like? You just play improv
Just
games
play
basically?
games.
Pretty much,
That's
yeah.
sick.
We-
That
So
sounds
we
like a
would
lot of
do
fun.
Yeah,
some warm-ups, say hello to everybody, see who's in the room, especially if
Mhm.
someone's new. And then we just play improv. We
Yeah.
just make each other laugh.
Yeah.
Sick.
Like,
It's very therapeutic. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. Like it's a time to come together once a week where you can kind of like bookend your week with like a good time of laughter. You don't think about the rest of the world when you're doing it. I'm sure you're familiar with what it feels like to be like in front of people and doing
Oh, yeah.
things.
Absolutely.
It makes you just get in the moment, and it's really good to have that weekly. I've found it to be therapeutic and really good connecting. You don't connect with everybody every day.
True.
So it's a good way to meet people and see them face to face and play.
Get out behind the screens and do some face-to-face interaction with
Heck yeah.
people, which is all
Let's go,
like
Baba.
it's more and more going by the wayside, right? I feel like it's great if you want to go find a community. There's
And
tons of great
wherever
people
you
out there.
are, you can find improv. Just about.
Yeah.
There are
And if
little
you
groups,
can't,
or you
apparently
can
make it-
start it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just start your own,
Like there's a
right?
lot of university campuses that have improv teams. It's actually on the growth, I would say, especially in North America and then also in the UK.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up watching famous show Whose Line Is It
Yeah.
Anyway?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I was
And,
about to
like,
say,
some
that's
pretty
kinda
heavy
like
comics came from
Yeah.
that show
Sick-
as well, right?
Sick show.
It was
So
dope.
good.
I would come home, watch Whose Line Is It Anyway, and same thing. They get the topics from the
Yep.
yeah,
It's
it's
very
like
much basically what we
straight
do.
improv.
Nice.
Yeah, right.
That's
I
awesome.
just made that connection. Like, why didn't I bring that up earlier?
Yeah.
Improv.
That's the example I use if people are like, what do you do? And I was like, have you seen Whose Line Is It Anyway? And I'm like, cool, like that.
Just the exact same. Yeah. Sick. Well, part of the show, if you guys haven't tuned in, is we like to go through our favorite Overheard and Banff posts of the week. Sometimes we dip into Canmore Community Connection and the other local pages. This week's been kind of quiet, though. We only have a few things. Very, very uncontroversial week this week.
Yeah, it's now that the patio's gone, there's nothing. There's literally
What else are we talking about?
fucking
Crickets.
nothing to talk about.
Yo,
but,
there was one. I don't know if it was this week or last week. We didn't bring up the post because it was a little
Too edgy.
a little too edgy. Someone had parked in a disabled parking spot and ran into the
Yeah.
veterinarian.
Yeah, I think I saw that post.
Oh, that was so heated. It was like disabled people versus pet people. That was a wild dispute. We're not going to talk too much about it because it involves a lot of sensitive topics.
Oh, those pet people.
Hey,
Oh, you signed it?
Tim.
Cat running
Can't
around
be
this
picked
room.
sides.
Just can I get inside? I'm playing the line.
Hey, you leave my
Anyway,
cat
so
alone.
yeah,
I love the line.
a lot less edgy this week. Let's cut to it there, Matt.
Let's go. Well, this one actually is pretty good. I like this first.
Bam.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
I saw
yeah.
that and I was like, oh look, it's the nose candy meme season.
Yeah.
Before it
and-
becomes
Is that a
ski
thumbs
season.
up?
yeah. No, it's
Oh, it's a bag in the bottom, right?
yeah, it's a bag.
Yes.
It's a bag at the
Yeah.
bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Powder
And then,
Thank you for
receptacle.
clarifying that.
My
I
favorite
mean,
though.
what?
My favorite though is the comment that just says Aussie Day celebrations, no doubt. It's just so
We're gonna
good.
need 200 of these.
You know what you could
Stat.
definitely do is slam someone's face in that.
Oh, you could. You could.
I'll
You
go
reckon it's
first.
real toppings, though?
Oh god. Yeah, I don't think the
Or is it
toppings are
icing
real.
sugar? Like,
It's just got its icing sugar, guys.
Surely.
For TOS applications, that is, to be honestly clear, is just sugar.
And for those listening, there is a
Oh,
cake
yeah.
with a nose on it. Yeah, check out the YouTube, like and subscribe to see what is on the screen right now because we can't really describe it while adhering to the TOS. So
No doubt.
Hilarious stuff. Thanks for posting
Indescribable.
that.
Well, this guy didn't learn how to drive. This next one, we're going on to some banging driving memes here. So this guy,
Oh, yep.
oh yeah, it says why is the need to yield to the bus if I can use the opposite lane? Washington driver.
In defense, I'm not sure if everywhere in the world you have to yield to buses. That might be a uniquely Canadian thing.
I'm not sure.
Yielding to buses, I don't know. But
I mean, they're usually much larger.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I feel like in New Zealand you don't have to, but if a bus is pulling out in front of you, like you're gonna want to.
I feel like normally you don't have the choice.
Yeah, like you
Exactly.
want to get plowed by that thing,
Yeah.
buddy? Like, come on now.
But some very interesting driving tactics here. We know the traffic can get bad here on the Overheard podcast. We try to not talk about it too much, but this guy just taking matters into his own hands, going into the opposite lane.
And
What a
from
beautiful
Washington.
backdrop, though. Eh?
You can't even blame that on being
I
like
was-
Aussie or British and like
Well,
making a mistake.
Yeah,
like,
well, no,
that's-
TJ just said, no, they have to yield to buses thing in the UK too. So that's
There you go.
thanks, chat, for solving that mystery for us. And we now know you have to.
Yeah, so no
That's
excuse. I guess shame on you.
Shame. on you.
Whatever. People like. I guess look
could
at
you?
Rendell in the background though. Like it
Aw.
is
That's
a
nice.
super
I'm
beautiful
actually
photo.
more distracted by the mountain.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, I get it.
So you know,
Maybe he wasn't looking.
Maybe we'll go easy on this Washington drive.
Nope.
God bless America.
Well, this one's good too. This says a question of life. If you don't stand out your sunroof in Banff National Park, did you even get the shot?
Oh.
And
Well-
it's just Buddy standing up like this looks like Cave Ave down by
I would do
the
that.
bridge or something. But
What I feel like I see people all the time driving, say Tunnel Mountain Road, and they got like their phones out, like doing the whole like videoing the drive. You're never gonna watch that again.
Yeah,
Who's
like,
watching
they're
this
like,
content.
oh, dude, look at this road I drove on.
Like put your
You'd
phone
be-
down and enjoy it.
You would be surprised if you go on YouTube and type in like Banff on the road, and like, they post it.
Yo, who's watching
who's
this
watching
stuff?
I watched it.
Good point. Tim watched it, guys. You heard it here
I will.
first.
I will be honest though. I would do that too. That looks fun.
My question
Oh.
is,
And it's
was
incredibly
the vehicle
dangerous. You
moving when
just-
that was taken?
I mean,
If
can't
so,
tell from the photo.
yeah, because if so, then woo.
It's
Something-
pretty rock and
it
roll.
reminds
I
me
mean,
of
I've
those-
done way worse things in a vehicle. I've done way more dangerous things in a
It
vehicle.
reminds me of those RVs that get stuck under the bridge.
Mm.
Oh, Buddy just goes under the bridge, clocks his dome.
No.
Yep.
Oh, that hasn't happened in a while. I don't think it happened this summer yet. There's still time.
Hey, thanks
Yeah.
for the follow.
We're
TJ.
waiting
Let's
for
go.
you.
So
Oh,
yeah,
God.
dangerous behavior. Again, this behavior is usually teamed up around wildlife, so
Mm.
people don't really realize, similar to the wildlife fences on the highway, that a bear could get to you super quickly. I saw a video the other day, came
Okay.
across it on like my reels or whatever, of a bear just straight up opening the door of a
Oh,
car.
yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
and he's like, "Not my Mercedes, not my Mercedes."
Yeah.
And the
Or,
bear
like
just
climbing
opens
in
it up.
open windows and stuff.
Yeah.
God.
So even
lord.
if you're in a vehicle, a bear could still use its paws and open your door.
Yeah, crazy.
Okay.
So be mindful. They run really quick. They are wild animals.
Lock your doors.
Yeah. Just lock your doors.
This brings me, this is an interesting point. I was talking to someone, I think I was golfing with them, and they do seasons up in Churchill, Manitoba.
Oh, it's
where the
illegal.
Polar
Right.
bears
Yeah,
are, and it's
it's illegal
illegal.
to lock
Were
your-
you telling me that?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
illegal to
yeah,
lock
I've
your
heard
doors
that,
because if
yeah.
you're
Yep.
running away from a polar bear, you need to be able to get into any car, that,
Or
like the
house too, I
closest car.
believe, right?
Yeah.
Actually, they brought up in the comedy show yesterday.
Yeah, they did,
That's what
yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's illegal to lock your
Yeah.
doors. But
Yeah.
I feel like if you get into it, but then you probably need to lock it when you get inside.
You know what else?
Yeah.
You know what else is illegal?
What's that?
Whatever the hell these bunch of dumb
Oh
dumbs
my
did.
God, Kate,
This
one
is wild.
sick.
These like I just don't
Yeah.
understand.
Oh, yeah, so-
Have you guys seen this
Like,
post?
I didn't see
How
I
it-
heard about this.
I
Okay.
saw it, but I didn't read it.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Matt, take us through what's on the screen, and then I'll go in depth because I like
So-
comb this article.
So
pretty
here
well.
it says it's just an article from Jasper Local, and it says tired hikers charged after requiring rescue from closed area. So this was up in Jasper, I guess. Was this Pyramid Mountain? They said.
Yes. Okay. So I'll give you the
Yeah,
backstory.
here you go.
This is what happened. Pyramid Mountain in Jasper. The trail is closed. Pyramid Lake is open. The day use area is open. Apparently, there's tons of signage on the trail and around the area saying this is not a safe space to be. Since the fires, they want people out of there. Obviously, they're still rehabilitating the area to make it safe for people in certain areas. They don't want people going out of these open areas to
Right.
attract, what is it, safety crews away from what's going on, right? So I guess this team of hikers, I don't know how many people it was, but a group of hikers decide to hike Pyramid Mountain, okay? They get tired along the way. They call for an evacuation off of a trail that they weren't supposed to be on. And I guess, you'd normally be expecting an injury or some type of really crazy circumstances to need an evacuation, like maybe being cliffed out or taking the wrong trail or being lost. They were just tired. They're just like, nah, we're done.
We're like, actually, we're done hiking. Just call us a helicopter. So what were the?
Don't you get one free one or something?
Yeah, but no, that's only if you're a park resident, I believe.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay,
so if you're a park
you never heard
resident-
it from me.
Yeah, if you're a park resident and you get stuck out there and it's like a legitimate reason,
I think-
as
Like,
far
do
as
they
I
get charged for
know,
this?
So
Yeah.
the article goes on to
Oh, yeah, they-
read that
Okay,
they
good.
will have court appearances due to this this incident,
Damn.
and the fines could go up to $25,000 per person. Now, this is not for the evacuation. This is just for entering a Parks Canada closed area for
Yeah.
violating the
Yeah.
Parks
Wow.
Canada Closed Restrictions Act or whatever it's called. But yeah,
Crazy.
insane. I was dying laughing when I heard this. Like, could you imagine going on a hike? Be like, you know what?
I'm over it.
I'm done.
Let's just helicopter
I'm calling.
out.
I'm
Let's just
calling.
helicopter out.
Surely they
I-
know that's going to cost a lot, right? Like,
Yeah,
I've been
there's a lot
close.
of dumb people around the parks sometimes in the summer, though. Like with 4.6 million people here, you can't really, have all the most intelligent people on the planet show up. There's bound to be
true.
idiots like this that are just like, oh yeah, we'll go for a hike. Let's go, guys.
Yo,
We got flip flops and water, and we're 6 hours in. Fuck it, get a helicopter. Let's go.
Shockingly funny. Like, sorry to you folks if this was you, but I
Yeah.
guess it's a
Maybe you
lesson learned the hard way.
Maybe they should have tried this next one. Just a simple Larch Valley hike. Maybe just don't go into places you're not supposed to go. But no, Larch Valley looks like it's looking pretty goddamn good up there.
Yeah, usually I wouldn't send people to places that I'm planning on hiking.
Right.
But this is a special occasion. The larches are out. Banff Alpenglow Adventures. This is a post that they put up. They're doing a bunch of deals for locals. If you want to get out there, do some
Yep.
sunrise hikes, you can book shuttles, avoid the crowds, avoid the parking. I think they pick up straight from Banff, so go check them out. And just I wanted to put this up as like a PSA for everyone to get out there. The larches are changing. It's super beautiful out there. We still have like 20 degrees like
Yeah.
today. I was looking up Cascade on the way here, and there's not a drop of snow
Damn.
left on it. So still able to get up into the Alpine, but for a short time. I think the snow when
Yeah.
it comes quick.
Oh, yeah, we got maybe a couple weeks, 3 weeks.
The
until it
larches
starts
don't
really
last
snowing.
long. I feel like a week or 5.
No, not at all. Not at all.
5 days maybe, and they're toast. So get out there, go do your hikes. I'm not telling you where I'm going because I got some
Suck it.
I got some
Suck it, Donnie.
some low key hikes up my sleeve.
Oh,
Well, thank you so much for coming by, guys. This has been a great little
Alright.
hour
Yeah.
chatting.
Thanks for having us.
Anything in
pleasure.
addition you guys want to add?
No.
Come watch the show.
Yeah.
Come give it a go if
Yeah.
you want to try it out. Meet some awesome people. We're pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
we
I'd say
welcome
so.
anybody. we welcome anyone to the drop-ins, all ages, all fun. Well, 18 plus actually.
just to clarify, that is 18
I
plus, yeah.
never know what content's gonna come out of these people's mouths.
Yeah, good point. Good
True.
point.
All opinions are their own. So
Yeah,
you
but
know.
it's a good time. We just like to have fun. You should come out sometime.
Yeah,
figure
hell
out.
yeah.
It'll
yeah,
be
it
fun.
might be
fun.
fun. Go
Yeah.
out there, do a little drop in.
Yeah.
I'm
Test
not,
our
uh,
improv
I
chops.
don't
It
know
might,
if
it
I'm
might
really
improve
good
our
at- I'm not-
podcasting a little bit.
Not really good actor. I act in VR. I only act in VR.
It's still,
I'm
Counts.
in VR. I'm a famous DJ.
in
In town, I'm just a shitty line cook.
Well, if being on stage isn't your thing, come watch. Throw some cool suggestions at us and have a
there
good
you
time.
go.
yeah.
October 8th as
Right.
part of Pride. Go and
Let's
get your
go.
tickets now. Check the links. We'll be posting them all shortly. Thank you guys so much for coming and taking the time to chat with us on a beautiful day, cutting
Yeah.
your patio session short.
Thanks, guys.
It's all right. We can go back out.
Yeah,
That's it.
there's still
Nice
sun.
out.
There's still
Nice
sun.
We'll see you out there, Bam.
Right on.
Thanks so much.
We're still working on next week's guest. We don't really know who's coming by next week. Still working on a few angles. Haven't heard back from a few people, so we're still kind of waiting on that.
Hell yeah.
Is what it is. But we will announce next week. You'll have your guests.
Ain't no
shortly.
thing, man.
I think they'll come through, but who knows? But that's it for us today. Thank you for coming by. Like
doubt.
every week. See
you
you
next
next Tuesday.